Hello. There's more information coming out on the Epstein files and the money trail with DJT or DJ, we'll call him. DT, we'll call him. Okay. The current occupant in the White House. And I just wanted to talk a little bit about my abilities. I'm going to do a longer one on Wednesday and look at the questions you post on my community page. But I wanted to just talk about who I am. By the way, I've been meeting some really cool people in my private sessions. It seems like I attract people who are very spiritual and quite far along on their path, a lot of them, or some of them, they're not even aware. Sometimes the most spiritual people are just like regular, everyday people that don't think they're spiritual, but they're actually very ethical and honest and just, keep showing up and doing the right thing. So it's been really cool. And I really appreciate the community and all the great comments and the questions. And people seem to love my classes, which I'm really excited about. Got another class coming up September 6th on how to heal the chakras, pet healings, and dream interpretation, all in one day. Well, you get 4 videos with that, but check it out on my website, which is on the post. If you go to my YouTube page and go to postings or posts, you'll see my website address. Okay, so, or type in the comments, where's your website address? Or if you have another question. I do read the comments and try to answer some of the comments. I can't answer all of them, but so who am I? I just wanted to talk for a minute about who I am. So I'm a person that grew up in the 60s, in the Civil War protests in California. My parents were activists and yuppies. No, they were bohemians before the hippies. Okay, they were artists. My father was an architect, but we went to all the, at least I did as a young teenager, all the anti-war protests. When I was really young, I saw spirits, the nature spirits. I've always been connected with nature, and I have flashbacks of past lives. Um, I knew I had healing abilities. I figured that out when I ended up getting quite ill from just absorbing everybody's negative stuff. So I studied with shamans around the world and learned how to heal myself and tune into my psychic abilities even more. I was shown in a dream not to go to college because I thought I should go to college and get a doctor's degree because I wanted to help people. Even as a young child, I felt like I'm here to help people. So I had a dream that I walked around the school that wasn't for me. And it's pretty clear that that wasn't for me. I am a non-denominational pastoral counselor. I am an author, and I'm currently working on a new book. I will be starting that shortly, actually. And so I'm just here of service to help people in their awakening, in their healing, to guide them on their path in whatever way I can show up to empower you. And so that's basically who I am and how I got here. I started watching the news when Obama became president because I felt like I was watching history and something just told me you need to pay attention to this. So I did. And then obviously, which brought us to where we are here now, I just felt like I need to do my part. And we all can do our part. I know a lot of people are really angry. It's okay to be angry, but also don't let them steal your joy and your peace. So the way animals do it, or to me, what I've developed is a healthy way of being angry in the moment when I'm angry about something and taking an action that is going to create a positive result for me or whatever the situation is. So I don't need to stew in that and it doesn't destroy my life because under that anger, there's a lot of hurt or fear. And so I spent quite a bit of time looking at my energy and my frequency. My concern is that people are angry, people are being traumatized, and it will eventually erode your health and affect your finances, your relationships. And that's the point. You can't let them do that. When you're letting them do that, turn you into, taking irrational actions or turn you into an angry, resentful person, they've won. They've taken part of your soul and a part of your energy, and I'm not going to let that happen. But it isn't wrong to be angry, so I want you to know that. In fact, there's a lot of reason to be angry, and I feel angry or sad at what's going on, but I also can observe myself doing that, to be the observer on like a higher spiritual plane, so that I'm not, it's kind of like growing up emotionally or spiritually. If you've dealt with these things, which I feel I have in a lot of past lives, kind of gives me a little bit of a different perspective. It could make me more sadder and more brokenhearted because I've seen these things before in different worlds, but I know that that is not for me to, and I hope that is for you to find your joy and your peace. Having said that, even as bad as the economy is, and the job market not good and expenses are high, it's been that way for a long time, and now it's worse. But this has been happening since the 60s, where prices have been going up, and working people or everyday people, I don't know if I can call you everyday people, but most of the population is not really, now can't go to college, can't own a home. So the American dream that we were told that we created this country from is really not here. However, in states of awakening, and in when you're following your guidance or your path, you can do quite well in this economy, even though the government is not supporting you, which might sound totally crazy. And there is a green economy coming, and I'd like to look at that more on Wednesday. The green economy, I feel like America will be more global, will be more connected to our partners after this regime is gone, that is destroying everything. I believe that he is an asset of country starting with R and leader starting with P, if you know who that is. The country starting with an R that's in a war in Ukraine now. So that started the war. Okay, so I believe, and this is going to sound super crazy. I try to keep my, like my readings and my looking at things practical, and like this can happen. I'm not, I don't like using conspiracy theory language, because I feel like that's the mainstream media is a way to keep you from believing all the stuff, not believing all the stuff that's really going on, because there is some crazy stuff going on. But I was listening to these CIA agents talking on this video. I can't remember which one it was, but it just clicked in with me. I'm like, I knew it, because I saw this. But they were saying that because leader of Russia got into the car with the current DT, that they would check the car for bugs. That car's probably bugged, because these people are spies of the highest order. They're devious. They're out to get America. They are not our friends, and they know what they're doing. They're quite dangerous. And he let him in his White House car, and so the CIA agents were saying, "Be careful. You got to check everything now, because they're probably listening. You might have a bug that's so small that you'll never even find it." Okay, but that's what they were saying. But what I was seeing when I did a meditation, or what do you want to call it, a journey, or I don't know, people call it out of body, something, I don't know, whatever you want to call that. When I went into the energy, I'll say that, I saw that, and I do believe that was a body double, because he was way too happy and bouncing around for the leader of Russia. So I don't think that was really him. But what I was shown was something really, and here's the crazy part. So I just thought it's a metaphor. Maybe it's a metaphor. Maybe it didn't really actually happen. But now I'm thinking, yeah, I think it did. that a device was placed inside of DT through his hand, like through his finger, like there was like which could cause more health issues. Because he already had really bad health issues. He's wobbling up the ramp like woo, woo, this side, that's, and the swelling of the ankles and the slurred speech and all that. But I feel like it's they're trying to program him. There's some weird stuff that they do that we don't know about, that's like technology that isn't mainstream. And so I see when they shook hands that something came out of this body double hand, like a little needle or something, and went into his hand. It's in his body. It's not in the car. It's in the body. Crazy, huh? Yeah. And so at first I'm like, come on, to my guys. I'm like, you can't, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to tell people crazy stuff. But I mean, this is pretty crazy. And why wouldn't they do that? I mean, why would you put it in the car if you have the technology to put it in his body? I mean, there there are weird viruses out there or things that we don't know about, you know. So take it or leave it. What, if that just sounds too crazy, I understand. Because at first I'm like, I'm not saying that in my video. I am not doing this. But then after I listened to the CIA agents and they confirmed, I'm like, okay, you know what? It so somehow they're programming him, they're controlling him and bugging him. Yeah. So okay. So let's look at, and I also want to look at I want to back up about the economy. You can do well. I feel like there's a green economy coming, where I was saying, like, where we'll be more global, we'll be more like partners with Europe and other NATO allies, rather than kind of isolating ourselves. And I feel like the green economy is really going to help us. When we get there, I don't know, but I feel like that soon. Many people see astrologers, there's these TikTok witches that are doing curses and spells and um on DT, and they were saying that today is the day, Monday the 25th, that he is going to have a severe health incident. I do feel like there is something coming. I'm going to say between September and I mean, could be, we're almost in September, could be today. Um, but I haven't really tuned into him. I don't like to tune into him every day. It's just too, but when I looked at my last reading, I saw like this month, it really looks like December. December does not look good. And then early next spring. So a lot of people say they don't see him completing the 4 years. I don't either. Yeah. So oh, they're saying to talk about Kamala. And I always wondered why everybody's like so upset about why, that not everybody, but a lot of people that I've talked to are upset. And he admitted that he cheated. And, not just the BOMB threats and the gerrymandering and the huge amounts of money dumped in for advertising. But I feel like a lot of corporations and mainstream media, especially like CNN, wanted DJ Chi to win. Even MSNBC, some people were not really reporting the truth about him, how crazy he was, and saying, well, and people always explain, like, here's what he meant, because he can't communicate very well. And he likes to leave people guessing too, because that keeps him in control. If you can't really, I'm like, I don't really know what he's saying. Well, let me tell you what he said. Like, why do we have to, if someone has to explain what he says? Because is two things. He purposely is misleading people to keep them confused. And then he's not a really good communicator. He doesn't communicate clear. Although some people kind of jive with that. They're just like, it's just like street talk or something. So they think he's more like them or something. Okay. Anyway, what I was saying about Kamala is, there's a lot of people that feel that she was cheated. I agree with that. I feel like there was something very wrong with what Elon did with the voting machines. And even DT admitted, he said, he was great especially in Pennsylvania and other states where with the voting machines. I'm like, what? He just admitted he cheated. Okay, so that's why they don't want mail-in ballots. So we need to do mail-in ballots so they can't fiddle around with the machines like they did before. Now he doesn't have Elon with him, but I feel like he thinks he can just do it by brute force or something now. But what really bothered me about all this is that Kamala didn't even do a recount. And everybody's like, oh, they cheated. Not everybody, but a lot of people. There's a large amount of people that feel that, and I agree with them, that there was probably some tampering with the machines or throwing out of ballots, or some people said that they even voted long distance, but their vote was, when they checked to see if their vote was counted, it wasn't counted. And so, but what bothered me about all that is that she just kind of disappeared, and she didn't even do a recount. I'm like, what is up with that? Let me tell you what's up with that. She was threatened. There are some Democrats, sorry to say this, that are supporting establishment and corporations, and they figure, yeah, it's better, because she's going to give free medical care to elderly people to stay in their homes and lower prices, and we don't want that. We want, tax breaks for us and big corporations. So they want to just, suck up everything. And she was going to be too much for the people. So I feel like some establishment Democrats were like, yeah, don't fight this. But I feel like she was threatened from the other side. I feel like somebody threatened her to back off. And she's kind of alluding to that. She's saying our system is broken. But I'm like, why did you just disappear? And why are you still not running? I feel like she's being told not to, you know? Even though I feel like she will do some things, we can look at that more like what's she gonna do to help. But yeah. So I mean, I like Gavin Newsom, that he's standing up, but before that, he wouldn't be my first choice for president because he also supports corporations. So mainstream media, it might be a way just to get rid of DT, to have him out there to help with the gerrymandering and stuff. But we can look at if he's going to win president when it gets closer, because some people saying he is, some people saying he will be president, some people saying he won't. I feel like, Kamala really stood up. There's a lot of programs for disabled people and foster kids. And so now she did throw people in jail for smoking pot, but when she was attorney general, that was against the law. She was following the law. So people were like, oh, she threw people in jail just for smoking pot and ruined their life. Well, so a lot of young people smoke pot now, especially in California. I don't, but I'm like, well, that was the law. So, but she also did a lot of things to really help people, and I feel like she really knows from her background, like she wanted to support people and she was trying to fit in, but obviously not enough because she didn't even do a recount. I mean, like, why are we all fighting when she didn't even do a recount? She doesn't, it's like she's been told not to, and I feel like she was threatened. I mean, it's still important to go ahead with the cases, because if there is cheating in the system, we need to figure out what it is. But it's also, we just need to do mail-in ballots. And I also want to look at why the president, DT, like, why did he buy $100 million of bonds? Is he going to drop the tariffs and make a boatload of money? Because remember, taco and the stock market is looking pretty good or okay. Yeah, because I think because the rates went down. So they were showing they're in the green or whatever, in the black. not in the red. So let's look at, because I do feel like there's a money trail, there is a money trail connecting DT to the Epstein. Uh, so he made a lot of money with sex trafficking and bribery. There's stuff coming up, and I feel like there are reporters that are going to uncover that. So we're going to. The good thing about all this is that all this stuff is coming out. It was happening in the 80s. We've had wars going on here forever, since the 60s and in the 80s. We've always had wars, but now people are seeing it because we all have our cell phones and we're filming everything, and we have the internet, so people and social media. So people are finding out the stuff that's already been going on. I mean, yeah, things are falling apart now in a way that back then they weren't. But yeah, I do feel, let's look at those two things. The $100 million GT bought in bonds. What's the, because I feel like there's financial scandals coming out that may lead to a 25th Amendment or an impeachment. And JD Vance is licking his chops. Boy, he wants to get in there. I feel like he wouldn't be as bad because he's a lame duck and people already hated. Like I feel like he isn't on so much in the financial crimes. He's kind of kept a distance from the financial crimes, which will probably be the reason if he doesn't go down from a health issue, probably be impeached or 25th Amendment but it's financial stuff. So financial stuff is coming out. Let's look at what's going on with the $100 million that DT bought. Okay. Ooh. Oh, the Democrats are coming. Yeah, this is going to come out. There's more financial stuff coming out. So he manipulated the system and betrayed us. The government is coming in because he's in the White House. He was elected, but justice is overseeing this. The Democrats, at my card for the Democrats are going to come in. We hope to catch him. The secrets will be revealed and the judgment will happen. So yeah, this is big. He's going to try to pull something and we're going to find out. Okay. And then what about the trail to the Epstein money? Will that come out? How he's connected financially through bribery or sex trafficking with Epstein and other countries too. Because countries starting with P, they have pictures. They showed him in that meeting. They showed him, that devil showed him pictures. They have information. Okay, so this is the Epstein. Show me the, will it come out? The money trail with DT and Epstein. Yeah. The message. Yeah. It was a betrayal of young women. Security in the past. Will the secrets come out? Yes. Yeah. There's somebody working on this. There are people working on this. I don't know who. The judgment. Hope for us. Yes. The Democrats. Yes. Oh, yeah. It's going to come out. So everything's coming out now. The truth about stuff is coming out. It seems like it's worse than it was, but really, truth is coming out. Hey, I'll talk to you Wednesday. I'm going to try to go on live, and then I'll be on live with Colleen Thursday, 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock in the evening. She's a really cool astrologer. So she does politics. So I'll be on her channel. It's on my Cool Crone Polyterology, it's called. It's on, there's a little tab to on my posting. All right, sending you so much love. Thank you for all your wonderful comments. Hey, please like this video if you haven't. It really helps me get out there. I'm trying to get 18,000 subscribers. I'm about 300 short. So I'm just like, yay, please subscribe. It really helps me out. Thank you. Take care. Bye.